Hey guys, Casper here with today's update. It's going to be like half an hour long, I hope, I think. Initially here, I want to just talk a little bit, and then we're gonna look into just a recap of some of the things we looked at I think it was Tuesday where we had a big club bonk to the face in uranium and gold, the miners, where we talked about again we could retrace 70% over the coming day and the day after, which we did. Tomorrow we have FOMC for whatever that is worth. We shall see. And then we're going to look at some gold and silver ETFs, some ratios. I want to show some long-term stuff and where I think what has started basically for the miners. And then I have oil stocks for you guys. Um, I've been saying on Twitter, but also I think on the Substack that if oil is going to collapse, why is a lot of the oil and gas stocks, drilling, all that stuff, holding up quite well? Again, it's just a thought that I've had for the past 2 months here. Why are they holding up so nicely? And we did also have a few buy signals like a week, a month ago, and they're still holding, breaking out, back testing, resuming. Again, it's just a thought. And again, if oil were to collapse, why are the stocks holding up quite nicely? I don't know. We shall definitely see. So first off, I want to do something a little bit differently here. Again, we have FOMC tomorrow. Personally, I don't really care, but what you will get is algo, a lot of things. Again, if they surprise with rate hikes, which I don't think they will, yeah, a lot of funky stuff can happen. And again, if you don't like volatility, again, I wouldn't buy anything here until into next week, maybe to see what happens. Don't try to trade that stuff there. So you're gonna get smoked. Good. Let's dive in here. I want to show you, first off, we're gonna do some of the things we looked at. No, first off, we're gonna look at some charts. I've made some screenshots here. Let me know if you like this better than me. I think, again, it has some validity to just have a freeze image here, and then I can speak from that. But I'll also do, the live trading view like we normally do. I just want to show you here and what is potentially about to unwind in rates. In this case, it is the Danish 30-year, but you can look at the German, the Euro, the GP, the Great Britain one. They are very similar, and this to me again, I'm falling in love with this 200 this momentum indicator that I have been working on, and also. I have some thoughts to actually improve it, but I haven't been doing, I haven't been able to do that yet. It's basically I'm using the 200. I think it's best on the 200 day, maybe the 200 weekly. That is where you get the best. Why the 200 day, you might say? It's because the big players, the one with a lot of pennies in their pockets, to invest, they, right or wrong, but they're using the 200 day as a big filter very, very often, right? So they don't want to invest in a stock that has a negative 200-day moving average, right? It's going down. So they just want to, they don't want to mess with it. They're getting interested once it starts to turn green, basically, and that's when they start to look at, oh, let's wait and see if we can buy something here, or get a signal or whatever. So to have the price measured against the 200 day, you get this momentum kind of indicator, and I'm just falling in love with it. I think it's really cool. So the 200 day here in this case, you can see the price chart here below, where we peaked out here, which in this case is that momentum node there. And then we came down here, a little bit of a breakout from the channel down here, going sideways within a bull flag. Very bullish price behavior as of now, of course, very bullish. Looking at momentum, if we break the flag here, we will most likely break a pretty hefty momentum structure, meaning, again, we can do the measured move here. And by the way, isn't it funny, the symmetry here? Look at the symmetry and the double bottom, right? Perfect symmetry. And you can see here it's a bit different, but up there, perfect symmetry and momentum. If we break that, it is my take that we can do the measure from basically -20 to +20%, put that on top, right? And we could see a scenario already in an uptrend where the price is going to outperform its average by 40%. And that will take the price from 3 now to, again, if the moving average is standing still, which it won't, but if it does, it will take it to like 5, roughly 5, right? Maybe a little less. But the moving average is going to come up as well. So it's going to push, it's going to be a lot higher. So that is very dangerous. And most people are not prepared for the bond market to make higher highs and higher lows. Let's watch again. We haven't been breaking the momentum yet, so that's a very cool chart. Here we have this is why can't I see? This is gold, yeah, on the daily. I would assume no, the 2 hourly. Yeah, the 2 hourly. My bad. Again, I've never used indicators before, but I think this one is quite cool. You can see here that gold spot price is breaking out here, right? It's breaking this flag, but momentum is not there yet, right? So again, this is what I'm watching. Again, I'm trying to learn and maybe, put in extra layers. We're getting the breakout here in gold, which is basically the August flag breakout, but we're not seeing momentum come in just yet. So I'm going to watch it here and see. Let's say we're breaking here, but maybe the right decision is, okay, we have been breaking, but we want to wait for momentum to come as well. So initially there, we will, again, maybe down the road, we will not take such a breakout. We are going to wait for anything to resume to the upside, and then we break momentum as well. In order to avoid, again, this is just very early stuff, but in order to maybe avoid false breakouts, if we don't have momentum, maybe we don't take the breakout. But I'm going to research into that. But price wise, breakout, cool. On the 2 hourly, again, remember tomorrow it's going to fluctuate like a madman. So yeah, but the big one here, or the small one to break, is the yellow on momentum. You can see we are basically at the 0 line, and also then we have a smaller, a bigger one here, the golden, right? We could get a third touch, and then we go, and then the big one looking back like half a year. So we can see we have just gone sideways ever since we called the top somewhere around here. We actually did say that this is a local high, big local high for a long time. So gold is very interesting for tomorrow. What else do we have here? Silver. Yeah, cool. Silver. So again, this is the inverse of that. We are now seeing on the 2 hourly, we see momentum breakout. Again, that is momentum breakout. So we're seeing the chart is breaking out in momentum before we actually break out on the chart from a pure price perspective. So this is one that I'm also trying to look into and learn to see if can we be early. Again, I need more samples, of course, but can we be earlier? Let's say we break here now. I'm going to buy here, for instance. I'm just spitballing here. And then we get in earlier because we have momentum. Or do we need both to trigger? Again, that is a whole different thing here. But momentum has broken out, meaning if this was a stock, right, you would say, rah, the price is breaking out. We're going to go long here. We're going to put our stop below that one. Easy peasy. We basically ride to, whatever target you have. And so, yeah, that is the idea behind it with this indicator. Remember, we mostly use price, but if we can incorporate every once in a while an extra layer from momentum, how cool is that, right? If we can really say, maybe avoid, some false breakouts if we can identify them by momentum. Fascinating. I'm into this, and yeah, I'm not going to speak whole lot more about that. So cool. Let's look at some ETFs. Again, this is just something from last Tuesday. So this was we're not going to talk so much more about momentum now, but that was the big puke there in the SIL, dropping like 4%, and it was one heck of a day. Actually, we filled that gap, right? And we have basically erased all that heading into tomorrow, I know, but we basically erased all that in 2 days, which we said, again, we were heading into FOMC Jackson Hole. It's going to be all over the place. So again, I don't really care what's happening now. But yeah, we did see that retrace of that candle. And we did see the same here for CAM. We actually are above on the gold miners. Holy shit. That Tuesday candle, or when Tuesday candle, yeah, and then boom, boom, basically resetting everything. So URA is fighting. a lot more compared to the gold miners. But again, massive puke doji, bit of a green candle here. Again, we want to, of course, get above, let's call it 39.4 here, right across there, 39.4. That's a big one. Again, in the short term, long term, who cares? It's again, we have looked at that 3 monthly candlesticks, and it's a beauty. Let's do it for the new people. Let's do it for the new people. There you are. Whew, right. Until disproven, we kind of like a candle like that. Massive volume, massive, reversal internally. Really cool. So again, not a whole lot that I want to mention here on the ETFs. Again, we basically want to get tomorrow over with, and maybe Monday, depending. But especially tomorrow. One that I want to show you is the GX, which it's called GX in TradingView, but the correct one is actually called a CDMX. That's the most used one. That is the TSX Venture Composite, which is Canadian commodities kind of index. I think that's the best explanation. And we are looking back 25 years. 1, 2, 3. You know the deal, how it is. Very large macro wedge toying with a breakout now. It's teasing us right now. Again, if we break on the fourth, which will be textbook, right? Typically, you get those 3 attempts, you can say, where you have the first high, the second high, then you have a potential trend line. You tag on the third. You tag on the third, getting pushback. Now we have confirmed that trend line, and then typically what you get is a little bit of a hump down, and then you break out. Again, if this is the real deal, then this is going to be a ton of tailwind for mining in general, commodities, whatever, what have you. And hopefully for the Canadian fiat, the currency pair as well, because the Canadian fiat looks devastating. If you look at it on a price chart, looks devastating. I haven't checked momentum, but pricing wise, watch. The reason is, again, I'm a Dane, so I have to invest into the TSX, so I'm getting punished right there. So good. Let's dive in here to ratios. Again, I think these are the most important ratios that you should know. Again, these are some of the most important ratios that, of course, we know them. Again, I posted it on X a few times. I've been showing it many times on the Substack. And that is, of course, ratios where we're looking at the miners against the metal themselves. And that is, again, if you talk to the regular people on the street, they have no effing clue about what's about to unfold if we get the moves that we truly think we're going to have. So first off, let's do GDX divided by gold. Again, we have been very bullish on GDX since April 2024. That was a big breakout moment for us, looking at gold, of course, but also looking at gold against inflation. The mining sector had an internal breakout, and now later on it has broken out as well. But now we're also getting gold miners outperforming gold. Meaning, of course, you will have more volatility, but it means, again, as long as this holds true, again, what we're getting now is a breakout. Could we fail? Sure. But for now, we're definitely breaking out on a 3-monthly time frame. So every candle is 3 months. So now the gold miners will outperform gold with more volatility, yes, but it will outperform. Again, it doesn't mean gold will go down. I think it's going to hold its price very nicely and go up. But gold miners are a better play if you can stomach that volatility. Again, if gold does 2% in a day, that's a lot. That's a very big daily move. If you have the GDX do that, it's basically daily fluctuations, more or less. So, but that breakout there going back, 20 years, whatever, it's truly outstanding. And it just shows you how early we are in this whole thing. So again, you can't have a mindset here. Remember, we're breaking a 20-year downtrend. And don't expect it to be over in 2 or 3 candles. There's a lot more to come in this whole thing here. And can we do some momentum? I think we have to go to the, I think we can. Yeah, cool. To the weekly because we don't have enough data. So again, look at, again, momentum-wise, March 2025, we started to break some momentum as well. You could also do a bit more of a horizontal kind of thing there, but definitely momentum is in our back, and that is what we want to see. Silver miners has underperformed, right? To some degree, the gold miners, but again, here we did have that rounding bottom at the lower trend line of a very long 15-year channel. However, momentum is very positive, very positive. So even though this here is very difficult to do charting on, like trend lines and such, up here, look at that, we have beautiful stuff here breaking out. So momentum is there. I do believe we're gonna go here for the third one. Again, go back and look on the JX, right? Something like that. So we could see a move higher in momentum, and then we could do a full reset, and then we go again, and then again. It's just looks really promising. Silver against the SPY. Nope, that was not it. I had one in mind, which we are not gonna look at here. So again, I'm just going to show you those ratios because they mean so much, and not a whole lot of people know about that, and what could potentially be at our feet here, which started like a year ago, but is proceeding now into miners being better than gold and all that good stuff. So yeah, again, I've been saying it before, if you can withstand the massive amount of volatility that these miners will give you, good and bad volatility, right? You can have 100% up, you can give 50% back within a month. Then I think you will do quite well over the next few years here in this space. These breakouts, again, they don't come around often, and when they do, they produce beautiful opportunities. Beautiful opportunities. Let's do some of the miners, not the miners, but the stocks that I looked at, and I found quite a few in oil. And we're gonna take a look at it here. Before we do, again, I want to show you this is the micro strategy. We talked about it with again micro strategy with a pretty hefty breakdown. Look at this here. This is actually from the lows of 2023, right? So this is wow, this is 2.5 years breaking down from the uptrend. And also here, if we look at momentum, right, we are basically there, aren't we? Yeah, we're actually breaking down from momentum as well. It's still positive, but I do believe we could see a full reset down to the 200-day there. Right. For now, it's a very big breakdown. So unless I think Jackson Hole could actually reverse that again, depending on what the heck is going to happen. But to me now, extremely dangerous for micro strategy. I'm just going to check the Bollinger Band on the daily. Yeah, I think it looks like we're rolling over. Just checking stuff here. Again, the 200-day needs to save it on the daily. So very critical here for MicroStrategy, which could be a very scary sign for crypto, right? Bitcoin and all that good stuff. So let's look at some oil stocks. We're going to look at the daily and just have a bit of an update on that one. This one here, when boom, like that, is AKRBP. They are paying hefty dividends. Hefty. 10%. Again, we called the buy there at roughly 245. That was the breakout. Back test within a wedge, breaking out again. Textbook wise, we are kind of pleased. Again, you can actually buy into this here again. We might get a gap fill here. And the good thing is the stop is somewhere around 25 or so. So very tight risk here, but a lot of good upside on AKRBP. Momentum. You can see here again, we're actually getting positive, getting a bit back below the momentum. I think it depends on how we know. There it is. Perfect. So you can see the momentum breakout here, and we backtest momentum as well. Very good setup. Very, very good setup where you can see here touching there. Bit of a fakey there, touching many times, finally breaking out, backtesting. This is most likely the case, and you can have the very tight stop, down at 225 or so. 10% dividend, long-term uptrend here, I think, again, depending, but this could be like a 2-year hold, 1, 2 year, 3 years, getting paid quite hefty in dividends. APA here is also integrated oil dividends. Yeah, 5%, that is good. That's really good. So what are we seeing here? Still, you can see here we are barely peaking positive in momentum. The breakout has happened. And again, you can see the breakout backtest winding up here. Beautiful little wind up structure. Again, if that was a stock, perfect buy. And we're getting into the green here now, which is very nice to see. And pricing wise, we have just broken out as well. So we are seeing the breakout here down in price from its steep, like downtrend here. We're getting a breakout here. Personally, I would probably want to wait until we clear this kind of, puke here. So once we get a north of like 2150, we should be in for a run to $30 roughly, which is the low side of this one here. So from 2150 to 30, that's not bad, right? That is not bad at all. CJ, good old CJ here. Oh, we're gonna look at this here. I'm just getting used to having an indicator to look at as well. So CJ, again, we said once we start to break this channel here, going back to 2022, again, anything north of like 6.7, that is a buy, long-term buy. Breaking out, back testing, just grinding it higher. Momentum is positive. Look at the momentum break here as well. So meanwhile, we were breaking out from the entire channel. We also had a structured break on momentum on the daily time frame as we get into the positive, right? So CJ, I still think it looks really darn good. I have no issues with CJ at this moment in time. EC here, one of the very, the only thing we would have loved is to this momentum to the downside before we went into the wedge. If we had it from the lower side, we would have definitely been very, a lot more attractive. But pricing wise, 10 years, we have a wedge. That is good. That is what we want to see. And we had a bit of a fakey here. If we break the internal blue here, there it is, the internal blue, right, coming down since 2022. If we start to break here, let's say $10, yeah, $10, $10, that's the high rock to take out. That's where you go long. And also, momentum, we have a structure like a ceiling holding it down, meaning when we break 10, we should break into, getting to a point where the price is escaping the gravity from the 200 daily as well. So $10 should do it. Again, maybe we will get a signal before, right? We don't know. That is what we're trying to watch here. But definitely a good setup here for EC, and we have been waiting quite a while to get in. So I think that could happen. We will probably be in late September at the earliest. So we have like a month still. EOG is also paying dividends, 3%. Bit of a sad here breaking down, right? Very deep backtest of the overall triangle. But now we're flagging here. We have basically been flagging since late June. So that is, again, 2 months basically. And if we look at the momentum as well, so we have this wedge here, which, again, this was a fantastic setup. However, breaking down, backtesting, flagging now, yes, but again, we need to get back into the blue. But momentum-wise, we have a very clear upper ceiling, right, going down there. So if we break it to the upside there, right, then that means that this flag is breaking out as well. So again, that should mean that we're gonna have a big false breakdown and we should shoot higher in price. For EOG, OIH, you know OIH, we've been talking about it. Well, excuse me. I'm just trying to remove some old giggly here. Since this low here, 2020, big low for basically everything. Again, we have made this kind of curvature on a log scale. That is of no use on a log scale. You want very straight, trend lines connecting somewhat precisely. When you see like curvature, typically you should stay out because you can't use that on a log scale. Log scale meaning straight lines. However, momentum. Again, if that was a stock, boys and girls, that would be, again, we're actually breaking out as we speak here. So I will say, again, I wouldn't be buying it here, even though we are actually we're not breaking out. But if we get an impulse there, getting above the zero line, and therefore breaking the 4-year monthly wedge, that means, in my view, that this one, even though the structure here is the way I do it, of basically no use, but it means that we're definitely going higher. So this whole curvature thing here, which again, I can't use basically, but we have had the back test from the large blue, right? And if we start to break out here, we should see a surge there going to the yellow. So the momentum can help us to actually straighten out this curvature that is bent and not of much use. We can actually use that by filtering against, its 200-day. I think it's, again, to me, I think I'm very, again, I think this will improve our hit rate a lot, by the way. OVV, that is integrated oil, 3% dividend. Cool, 3%, not bad. We have been breaking the 15-year downtrend here, back testing it 2 times. And during the past 4 years, sideways channel. These are very easy to spot, but also a very good entry once you break that sideways range. So either way it breaks, that is, an entry you would want to take all day long, in my view, for sure. And momentum, we have a ceiling as well. So again, this whole thing here, which is sideways, and without the momentum, we would be happy to, again, to at least buy the break of the red, right? But if we get a spike here, then we break the internal, right? So that means you're going long at 62 and you have a stop at like 50 below this cluster here. So 62 entry, stop loss at like 50. But again, you're breaking so much momentum that is holding you down that I think this internal break here will just send price way higher. And actually, you can use momentum as a stop, as the target. Just look at platinum, by the way. So yeah, anything north of roughly, 62, 63, that is a place to be very interested, meaning that's a buy. Here we have PBR. I have bought 2 times, so I have 2 positions. And in hindsight, again, maybe we wouldn't have taken those, right? Maybe we wouldn't have. Um, Maybe we wouldn't, because again, I think I bought somewhere over here for the first time, and we were actually back below the momentum line. So maybe that would have kept us out again. We don't really, again, it's easy to say here now, but this is the thing that I'm trying to, again, make better, to be more perfect. So we maybe can avoid such a, but the setup now is very clean. From a price perspective, anything north of 18, that is it. That is when we're gonna go way, way, way higher. However, I think we can get in earlier here by a break of the momentum wall coming down for 10 years time, 10 years, meaning this bull flag here, when that breaks, you have a double whammy. That is when you go long. So I will say anything north of like 14 as it stands now is really good. You can go in a little bit earlier, but I wouldn't try to mess with it. I think 14 is a gap fill. Once we get above the gap, then we're again also breaking momentum and we're happy. Very happy with that. SGY here, pricing wise, 10-year downtrend. We'll try again. 10-year downtrend, breaking out, multiple back tests, and then we just start to fizzle. But during that period, we actually made like a wedge here. We had a false breakdown during the Trump thing, the tariff, breaking out, back testing, going higher now. Momentum is also there. So if we zoom in here and I remove my beautiful, beautiful drawings there, and we will make a vertical somewhere. Again, you can see here momentum is actually breaking out way earlier than we would ever have been interested by, because we would be interested over there, right? We tag the blue, push back, we break through, and then we finally get above. So we would have gotten in at like 8.6, and maybe we could have done that at 6. Excuse me, 6.8, and maybe we could have got in 10% below. But pricing, momentum, breakout, backtest, resumption. So SGY here, I have no issues with. Again, if you bought that 6.8 shell, that's again, this is going to be a good one here. We have no buy signal yet. We have no buy signal as of yet. And I think it's going to break out. I've said that the last time we talked about it, which was like a month ago, and then the month prior. We're expecting the breakout, but we haven't had it yet. Therefore, we are not in. But when we get above 75 on Shell, which is oil, of course, massive, massive company, 4% dividend, you are breaking. Let's go to the weekly quickly here. A almost 20-year downtrend line there, and the horizontal line there at roughly 75. It's a gorgeous entry. And if you want to get into oil, again, if you break that 75, don't listen to the narrative with regarding to oil on the news and all that good stuff. You are breaking heavy price action, long-term price action. And you have, again, if you're breaking 20 years here, you easily have 3-4 years of holding that. And I assume if we get these breakouts like in Shell, that is not in an environment where oil is just collapsing. It doesn't make any sense to me. So 75 there on the price, that is a great entry. You can just see here, it's just trying to break it. It's trying to, but when it will, I think it will do that, within, I hate to do timing, that, but September, October. Again, we're only 3% away, so basically you could do it next week, right? It only needs 4% to actually break out. Then we're good to go, 75. And also look here, the 4-year momentum structure that we haven't been breaking. But when 75 breaks, you break momentum as well. Perfection. I love that. It's really, really good. On Shell 75, I've been set it for 2 months. We haven't had a signal yet, but write it down or alert or whatever. Limit orders are good. They are the best. So you put in the order if we cross 75, maybe on like a daily basis or intraday, then you get your order, through the system and you're happy. So you don't even need to, watch the price day by day. You can just set it in and it will do it automatically. Good. A lot of oil, a lot of stocks. So yeah, again, tomorrow, new day. Let's see what it brings. Again, to me personally, I don't put a whole lot into it, but there are algos with a lot of money and a lot of firing power, that they can move things around. But to me, it's just a hump, it's just a little bit of a volatility, ripple that you will see. So have an amazing day, guys, and see you tomorrow. Bye.